What's up, you guys? Teddy Striker here, and one of the main excuses I've heard for why Khamzat Chimaev lost to Sean Strickland last Saturday is that he had a terrible weight cut, and according to Armin Tsarukyan, he cut about 21 kilograms, and that's about 42 pounds, and people are saying that he cut that in the fight week, which is not true. I think Armin Tsarukyan meant to say that Khamzat Chimaev's walking around weight was about 21 kg above the weight class, which would be about 220 to 230 pounds. And the reason why I know that for sure is because Luke Rockhold confirmed it, and Luke Rockhold has been in Khamzat Chimaev's camp. Khamzat did his camp over at the Jackson Media House in Santos Studio, and Luke Rockhold happens to be an ambassador of the Jackson brand. And he said himself that before Khamzat Chimaev left off to New Jersey,
sometimes, but 47 pounds is absolute bullshit. Khamzat, I don't get where people get these numbers.
Yeah, that is crazy. Let's be honest. He was just over again. Where does this 47-pound weight cut? That's not true. He wasn't 47 pounds overweight. That's crazy.
A weight cut is what you cut the week of. Okay, it's not 6 weeks out.
Yeah, when you started in February.
A weight cut, he was just over 200 pounds before when he left you.
Yeah. And
so he was slightly above 200 pounds when he made his way to New Jersey during the week of the fight. So apparently Khamzat Chimaev didn't cut that much weight. He would have cut about 15 pounds, 15 to maybe 20 pounds, which is slightly average for most fighters. Most fighters coming into fight week, they cut about that same weight. But there's been other excuses as to why Khamzat lost, and that is that he overtrains. According to guys like Demetrius Johnson, the guy just trains way too hard.
I think he trains too hard. There's a point in time where when you're in shape, you can't get any, your cardio threshold only goes so high, right? So when if you're already in shape and you're good to go, your cardio is this high, you can't go any further. You can't, it's just physically, it's impossible. Only you're gonna get is diminishing returns.
And the funny thing about this is that Demetrius Johnson was actually training with Khamzat as well. He was seeing Khamzat in camp, but he didn't think to say anything then because he thought that Chimaev would just run through Strickland, and that is the exact problem. The reason Khamzat lost isn't because he overtrained or he had a terrible weight cut. It's because Sean Strickland was just a better fighter. When I watched that fight, it didn't seem like Khamzat struggled from a bad weight cut. It didn't seem like he struggled from overtraining. It just seemed like Strickland had the answers for him, and Strickland wasn't even at 100% himself. And guess what? It was a split decision loss. These guys are acting like Chimaev got destroyed for 5 rounds. No, he took Strickland to a split decision, and in the 4th round, a round where it would show that you might have a bad weight cut or you might have had overtrained, Chimaev actually won that round. He won one of the later rounds, and the 5th round was close as well. He was doing well in the fight, but Strickland just was a better fighter. And what it really comes down to is Chimaev's defense. He was taking way too many punches. That's what made the difference. That's why Strickland won, because Strickland was clearly avoiding some of the shots from Chimaev, whereas Chimaev, he just had his hands up, he just had his guard. And yes, sometimes the shots would hit Chimaev's guard, but if you're just there and you're not clearly avoiding or defending the shots, it's going to look like you're taking a lot more damage than you might actually be taking. So Chimaev is extremely talented, and yeah, he might have had the effects of a bad weight cut and maybe the effects of overtraining, but at the end of the day, the guy still had a split decision loss to Strickland. But going back to why Chimaev should move up to the light heavyweight division, well, obviously he did struggle a little bit, so fighting natural weight class, you'll feel a lot healthier, and we won't be hearing these excuses anymore. I'm honestly sick and tired of hearing fighters say, oh, well, I had a bad weight cut. Well, guess what? There's always a weight class above you. Fight in your natural weight and you'll perform a lot better. You're going to feel a lot healthier. Look at guys like Max Holloway, Ilya Topuria, Islam Makhachev, who's a dominant grappler at 155, moved up and he dominated the welterweight champion. You can do the same thing. Just move up, fight in your natural weight class if the weight is such a big problem for you. Khamzat has also made his intentions clear that he wants to move out to the light heavyweight division because the middleweight division doesn't interest him. He literally said before the Strickland fight that if he beats Strickland, he doesn't want to fight Imavov because Sean Strickland beat Chimaev, and also he's friends with him, so he would rather move up. And like, you could tell that he felt that way. Like, he felt like, well, I beat DDP who beat Strickland, so why should I have to fight Strickland? And if I beat Strickland, why should I have to beat Chimaev? Because Chimaev already lost to Strickland, and that's why he was calling out Alex Pereira for a light heavyweight title shot. And then eventually the UFC offered him a fight against Jiri Prochazka, which Khamzat accepted. And then he started bulking up to 205 pounds, and that was confirmed by Khalil Rountree. So that was true, and that might be why Khamzat was so heavy. But again, when he left the Josh Media house, he was just slightly over 200 pounds, according to a guy who's there in Luke Rockhold. But when we look at the rest of the middleweight division, like, Khamzat is not going to get an immediate rematch. It's going to be Strickland versus Chimaev. And then there's Ricky Du Plessis, who Khamzat already dominated. There's Kamaru Usman, who's apparently moving up to middleweight to fight Drakus, and Khamzat already has a win over him. There's Brendan Allen, who all of a sudden is Khamzat Chimaev's best friend. Then there's Joe Parker, who's the only other guy, and does Khamzat really want to go through that guy? I don't know. He's campaigning for the title shot already. He's saying he wants nothing more than the title fight, which the UFC probably won't give him. So I feel like he should go up to the light heavyweight division, because that division is open right now. There's multiple guys who were at the top for a while, but have been losing for a while. You got Jiri Prochazka, who just got knocked out. You got Khalil Rountree, who got knocked out as well. You got Ankalaev, who's coming off a loss. You got Jamal Hill, who's on a losing streak. You got the champion, who might be out for a while with his injury. And the only other guy is Paulo Costa, who you just happen to have history with, and you can absolutely work your way into an interim title fight against this guy to headline a pay-per-view, or it can just be a 5-round fight to determine the number one contender. And it's a winnable fight for Khamzat Chimaev. Like, the guy is very skilled. Obviously, there is some technical things he should work on it, and at the moment, it doesn't seem like Khamzat has a head coach. Like, he's been kind of bouncing around between gyms. Like, he used to train at Sweden, then he was training in Dubai, and then now he's training at the Jackson Media Warehouse. And so it doesn't seem like there's a clear, like, head coach in his camp, and you can kind of tell by his fights
that I'd like him to see, to start chaining things together to get his shot. And then, like, going into this fight, like, you gotta have, like, he knows that Sean's going to throw 1,000 fucking jabs. Like, how are we not ready to counter a fucking jab? Like, I would have loved to see him fight a lot more southpaw to shut down that jab, right? It would have been so much easier for him to counter a jab, split that jab, slip outside of it. Like, there was so much he could have done on that southpaw stance. Should have tied his wrestling together. And then everyone's going to believe on your wrestling shots. So fake those wrestling shots and come back to strikes. Like, you got to start chaining shit together.
There's never any blend of the styles. Who's his coach? In there in between rounds.
Armin Starukian. Is that what's missing?
1,000,000%. If he wants to be champion again, I do think Khamzat Chimaev needs to find a coach that he meshes with. I think could take Khamzat to the next level.
And again, Khamzat lost a split decision to Sean Strickland. But imagine if you had that, like, real head coach in his corner. He could potentially go to Montreal and train with Firas Zahabi. He could train anywhere to, like, really find that, like, head coach to put everything together and design a very solid game plan for him. If he's already going to, like, split decisions with his team right now, like, imagine what he could do under more structure. He could be so much better. And I think Khamzat can absolutely reclaim the middleweight title. But I think him fighting at 205 would be better for his health. I think that the division is better, and it will be a lot better for defense as well. We would see a lot of big fights, and we could potentially, after a while, see Khamzat try to move up to the heavyweight division and potentially have a super fight with Alex Pereira. That could be interesting. Or Pereira could potentially come back down to the light heavyweight division. Obviously, that would be tough because Pereira is really, like, built himself up to a proper heavyweight. But there is a lot of big fights for Khamzat, and that's what he's motivated by. The guy wants big fights. He wants money. And at his rate, the way he fights, like how often he fights, I feel like 205 is just a lot better for him. Like, in 185, he already said he doesn't want to fight Chimaev. He's never going to fight Brendan Allen. He already beat Du Plessis. So move up. Have your beef match with Costa. Have your title shot opportunity and potentially become a double champion. And also try to look for a head coach. That's what I would advise to Khamzat Chimaev. The guy is very talented. Like, people are acting like he got dominated. No, he literally lost a split decision to Sean Strickland, a guy who arguably beat Dricus du Plessis in the first fight, a guy who dominated Nasruddin Imavov on short notice, a guy who knocked out Brendan Allen, a guy who dominated Israel Adesanya. Like, Sean Strickland is no joke. And I feel like, again, like, it's not because he's overtraining. It's not because of the weight cut. It's simply because he lost to a better fighter. But to avoid any of that nonsense, let's have Khamzat move up to his natural weight class where he's going to be a lot healthier. And let's just have him have fights that he's actually going to be willing to take. And there won't be any like, no, oh, he's my friend, or oh, he's my brother, or we have the same religion. None of that nonsense. Let's get some action. And that's what I would say to Khamzat. But let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think Khamzat Chimaev should move out to the light heavyweight division? If not, let me know why. But thank you guys for watching. God bless. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one.